ruining lives. And now they've indoctrinated these kids into thinking that this is the way because this is what they know.
What we saw in that video totally eviscerated his credibility.
Kevin Hart has found himself at the center of a shocking scandal that's shaking Hollywood to its core. Rumors are swirling around an alleged leaked video that could potentially destroy Hart's career and implicate him in something far darker than anyone could have ever imagined. The video in question reportedly shows Hart in a highly compromising situation with none other than R&B singer Usher, with none other than music mogul Sean Diddy Combs allegedly watching the entire scene unfold.
Because you're going to be a big voice for the future, and I need them to know what the dangers are.
Absolutely.
This scandal has left fans and the entertainment industry in disbelief. But it's not just the video itself that's causing a stir. It's the fact that this footage is allegedly in the hands of the FBI, making this much more than just a tabloid rumor. Sources are claiming that Hart, horrified by the potential fallout, has been in secret negotiations with law enforcement, desperately trying to strike a deal to avoid the consequences of this bombshell coming to light.
That's my initial reaction, because that's how I always feel when I see situations like this. And then there's this weird sense of grief, because it is Diddy, right? Diddy is a hip-hop hero. He's an ordinary person who did extraordinary things. To sit here and act like the man wasn't a huge part of our upbringing is a damn lie. So there's this weird sense of grief, like another one of our heroes has ruined their legacy, and it's their own fault because of poor choices.
Now, let's be clear. These are all alleged events. There's no official confirmation from Hart, Usher, or Diddy's camp. But the whispers are growing louder, and the details are becoming more and more specific, making it hard for fans and insiders alike to dismiss these claims as just another celebrity rumor. So, how did we get here? How did Kevin Hart, Hollywood's golden boy, a comedian whose career has been built on charm, family-friendly jokes, and hard work, end up entangled in what some are calling a Hollywood initiation scandal? The answers might lie in the notoriously secretive and controversial lifestyle led by Diddy, who has long been rumored to throw wild, exclusive parties where anything and everything goes. These gatherings, often referred to as freak-offs in certain circles, have been the subject of speculation for years, with claims that celebrities are forced to engage in questionable behavior as a way to secure their place in the industry. And now, it seems Kevin Hart might have been caught up in this sinister web. The idea that this alleged video is part of a larger initiation ritual is not as far-fetched as it might sound. Hollywood has always had its fair share of conspiracy theories, and one of the most persistent is the belief that certain stars are forced to perform outrageous acts as a way to prove their loyalty and ensure their silence. And who better to orchestrate such events than Diddy, a man whose reputation for lavish parties and controversial behavior has followed him for decades?
So why does it all come to a head now? Why now? Why?
Because he's the acceptable monster at this time, like R. Kelly was the last time I sat on this couch.
So who's next?
Y'all don't see the lineup?
Yeah, we see the lineup.
But here's where things get even more complicated. Diddy himself is no stranger to legal drama. In fact, he's currently battling a slew of lawsuits and criminal charges, including allegations of orchestrating these very same freak-off parties where celebrities like Hart and Usher may have found themselves in uncomfortable, even dangerous situations. Diddy's legal troubles exploded earlier this year when federal agents raided his properties in Los Angeles and Miami, reportedly uncovering evidence that ties him to a range of illegal activities, including hidden cameras placed throughout his homes to capture footage of high-profile guests during these parties. And it's this very footage, sources say, that has now landed in the hands of the FBI. If the rumors are true, the video of Hart and Usher is just one piece of a much larger puzzle, one that could take down not only Diddy, but anyone else who's been caught on camera at these notorious events. The idea that Diddy could be holding onto this footage as leverage over some of the biggest names in Hollywood is chilling, to say the least. And it's not hard to believe, given the mogul's history of controlling those around him with an iron fist.
It's getting hot.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Another layer to this story, Anne-Marie. A federal investigation into Combs has been ongoing, but he has not been charged with the crime.
But let's focus on Kevin Hart for a moment. Hart's alleged involvement in this scandal is shocking for so many reasons, not least of which is the contrast between his clean-cut public image and the seedy underworld he's now rumored to be involved in. For years, Hart has built his career on being the relatable, hardworking family man. His comedy specials are filled with stories about his wife, his kids, and his everyday struggles, hardly the kind of guy you'd expect to be wrapped up in something like this. And yet, here we are. The rumors suggest that Hart's attendance at one of Diddy's infamous parties was far from a one-time thing. In fact, several sources allege that Hart has been a regular guest at these gatherings for years, rubbing shoulders with other A-listers who may or may not have known what they were getting into. And while there's no concrete proof that Hart engaged in any illegal behavior, the fact that he's even been associated with these parties is enough to raise serious questions about his judgment and his future in Hollywood.
And we are getting word that that these accusers could soon testify in front of a grand jury in New York, and that one accuser is from Detroit. Pamela Osborne is working the story.
What's even more concerning is the timing of all of this. Diddy's arrest earlier this year sent shockwaves through the entertainment world, and since then, more and more details about his alleged activities have come to light. From accusations of trafficking to coercion, the charges against Diddy are as serious as they come. And now with the FBI reportedly in possession of damning video evidence, it's only a matter of time before more names start to surface. For Hart, the stakes couldn't be higher. If this video is real, and if it shows what the rumors suggest, it could be the end of his career as we know it. His fans, who have stuck by him through past controversies, might find it hard to forgive this kind of scandal. And Hollywood, which has already seen its fair share of the Me Too reckonings in recent years, may not be so quick to overlook Hart's involvement in something this salacious and potentially criminal.
Okay, this is what I mean when I say people wake up every day and just volunteer lies. Diddy, how are we supposed to believe anything that comes out of your mouth? And furthermore, why should we not believe the rumors of things going in your mouth when you out here volunteering bold-faced lies? You would still be lying to us right now if it was no video. You didn't even apologize to Cassie in the video.
So far, Hart has remained silent on the allegations, choosing not to address the rumors publicly. His last post on social media was about an upcoming show in Philadelphia, and while his fans flooded the comments with support, there were also plenty of people asking why he hasn't spoken out about his alleged connection to Diddy's parties. Silence, in this case, may not be golden. In fact, it could be seen as an admission of guilt in the court of public opinion. And then, of course, there's Usher. The R&B star has had his own share of controversies over the years, but nothing quite like this. Usher's alleged involvement in the video is just as shocking as Hart's, especially given his long history with Diddy. Usher has spoken in the past about how Diddy mentored him when he was just starting out in the music industry, and there have always been rumors about the wild parties Usher attended as a teenager under Diddy's wing. But this takes things to another level.
I moved to New York City, and I lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year.
That's the crazy thing.
The idea that Usher and Hart could be caught on camera together with Diddy watching is almost too outrageous to believe, and yet the rumors persist. Some insiders are even suggesting that this video is just one of many, and that Diddy has a treasure trove of compromising footage that he's used to keep people in line for years. If that's true, then the implications are huge, not just for Hart and Usher, but for anyone who's ever attended one of Diddy's infamous parties.
You're a dad now. Would you ever send your kid to Puffy camp?
Hell no.
And let's not forget about Diddy himself. The mogul is already facing serious criminal charges, and if this video is real, it could be the nail in the coffin for his career. Diddy has always been a polarizing figure in the entertainment industry, but this latest scandal could be the one that finally brings him down. His legal team is undoubtedly working overtime to discredit these allegations, but the sheer volume of evidence that's reportedly been gathered makes it hard to believe that Diddy will walk away from this unscathed.
It's so funny what's happening with Diddy because this was inevitable.
So where does that leave Kevin Hart? Right now, he's in a precarious position. If the rumors are true, he's facing a serious crisis, not just in terms of his career, but in terms of his personal life as well. Hart has always been open about his struggles with fidelity, and his 2017 cheating scandal nearly cost him his marriage. This latest controversy could be the final straw for his wife, Eniko, who has stood by him through thick and thin. If this video surfaces, it could be the end of their relationship, and Hart's carefully crafted image as a family man could come crashing down. But beyond the personal fallout, there's the very real possibility that Hart could face legal consequences if it's proven that he participated in any illegal activities at Diddy's parties. The FBI is reportedly looking into whether any of the celebrities who attended these gatherings were involved in criminal behavior. And if Hart is found to have played a role in any of it, he could be facing charges of his own. It's a nightmare scenario for a man who has worked so hard to build a successful brand and become one of the highest paid comedians in the world.
And there has been a lot going on. Since November, there have been 8 civil lawsuits filed against Diddy. 7 of them accuse him of assault.
As the investigation into Diddy's parties continues, more details are sure to emerge. For now, all we have are rumors and speculation, but where there's smoke, there's usually fire. And in this case, the fire could burn down more than just Diddy's empire. It could take Kevin Hart, Usher, and countless other celebrities down with it. The question now is, how long can Hart remain silent? His fans are waiting for answers, and the longer he stays quiet, the more suspicious it looks. Will he come forward and address the allegations head on, or will he continue to hope that this scandal blows over? Only time will tell.
You can't just keep changing the top layer. You got to do some real internal work, and you have all the money, all the resources to have access to the best everything. Stop spending the money and using the resources to attempt to cover up your lies and start using the money and the resources.
And as for Diddy, well, his days of being the king of the party scene might be numbered. The walls are closing in, and with the FBI reportedly closing in on key evidence, it's only a matter of time before the full extent of his alleged crimes is revealed. The entertainment world is watching closely, and the fallout from a scandal could change Hollywood forever. As this scandal continues to unfold, one thing is clear. Kevin Hart's involvement in Diddy's world could be the biggest mistake of his career. And if this video turns out to be real, it could be the end of the line for one of Hollywood's brightest stars.
In 15 years in Hollywood, no one in Hollywood has a memory of going to a sold-out Kevin Hart show, there being a line for him ever getting a standing ovation.
Kevin Hart's potential involvement in this explosive scandal goes far beyond just a leaked video. His personal life, relationships, and even his public persona are now being scrutinized more than ever. But what's really surprising is how his ongoing feud with fellow comedian Katt Williams might be connected to all of this. If you've been following the drama between these two, you'll know that they've had beef for years, with Williams always throwing shade at Hart, calling him out, even accusing him of being a puppet for the Hollywood elite.
And people get caught up in the illusion of Hollywood. People really get caught up in this.
Now, with these latest rumors tying Hart to Diddy's controversial parties, some are starting to wonder, was Katt Williams right all along? Did he know something about Hart's rise to fame that the rest of us didn't? Williams has never shied away from speaking his mind, and he's never been afraid to call out what he sees as hypocrisy or shady behavior in Hollywood. In fact, during a recent interview on Shannon Sharpe's show, Club Shay Shay, Williams didn't hold back when talking about Hart. He referred to Hart as an industry plant, someone who was handed opportunities in Hollywood without truly earning them, and who may have compromised his integrity to stay on top.
No, we've never heard of that before that person or since that person. What do you think a plant is?
Williams went even further, claiming that many of the roles Hart took were initially offered to him. According to Williams, he turned them down because the scripts often included content he wasn't comfortable with, content that he described as overtly questionable. In Williams' own words, I said, "No, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to be part of that." And then they pass it on to someone like Kevin Hart, who's willing to play that role. Katt's insinuation here is clear. He believes Hart was willing to do whatever Hollywood asked of him, no matter what it took, to secure his place in the spotlight. For years, many dismissed Katt Williams' comments as nothing more than jealousy or bitterness. After all, Hart is one of the most successful comedians on the planet, with box office hits, sold-out tours, and endorsement deals that bring in millions. But now, with this new scandal brewing and Hart's alleged ties to Diddy's underground world being exposed, people are starting to rethink Williams' words. Could there be some truth to the idea that Hart was handpicked for stardom and that he's had to play along with Hollywood's darker side to maintain his success?
And I hate to seem like a petty individual for picking apart lies, but Jussie Smollett gonna keep lying until you say we don't believe you.
The timing of all this is particularly interesting. Just as these rumors about Hart's involvement in Diddy's questionable parties are gaining traction, Diddy himself is facing a series of lawsuits and criminal investigations that threaten to bring his entire empire crashing down. And it's not just about the parties. Diddy has been accused of everything from misconduct to orchestrating elaborate schemes involving hidden cameras and coercion. Some of the accusations are downright shocking, with claims that Diddy used his influence to pressure celebrities into participating in activities they weren't comfortable with. One of the most disturbing aspects of these allegations is the idea that Diddy may have used hidden cameras to record what went on at his parties without the participants' knowledge. This is where things get really dark. According to several insiders, Diddy had cameras installed in nearly every room of his homes, capturing footage of celebrities, artists, and executives engaging in all kinds of compromising behavior. And he wasn't just collecting these videos for fun. He allegedly kept them as leverage, using the footage to control and manipulate some of the biggest names in the industry.
And a lot of the evidence, alleged evidence, that's been gathered in this case was from those two raids that were conducted on his personal homes in Miami and Los Angeles. And the indictment names the things seized that he allegedly made videos of these performances that have been named freak-offs.
Now, if Hart was caught on camera at one of these parties, it would explain why he's reportedly been so desperate to keep things under wraps. And it would also explain why he's been so quiet about the whole situation. If Diddy really does have footage of Hart in a compromising position, that would be a powerful motivator for Hart to stay silent and hope the scandal blows over. But in Hollywood, secrets rarely stay buried for long, and it's only a matter of time before more details come to light. Diddy's legal troubles, meanwhile, are only getting worse. In September of this year, the FBI arrested him on a range of charges, including conspiracy and trafficking, after months of investigation. These charges stem from allegations that Diddy used his business empire to orchestrate a years-long scheme involving illegal activities. And as if that weren't enough, Diddy is also facing multiple civil lawsuits from former associates, many of whom claim they were victimized by his actions. One of the most high-profile lawsuits comes from singer Cassie, who accused Diddy of years of abuse and coercion. Her lawsuit, filed late last year, included claims that Diddy forced her to participate in what he called freak-offs, wild gatherings where participants were allegedly encouraged or even pressured to engage in outrageous behavior. Cassie's lawsuit rocked the entertainment world, and although it was settled out of court shortly after it was filed, the damage to Diddy's reputation was done. Cassie's claims opened the floodgates, and soon, other accusations against Diddy began to surface. Several other women, and even a few men, have come forward with similar stories, each one painting a picture of a man who used his wealth and power to manipulate those around him. And now, with the FBI involved, it's clear that this scandal is far from over.
That's why, you know what the number one job of somebody that sold their soul in Hollywood is? What? Is to act like it didn't happen.
But what about Kevin Hart? His connection to all of this is still somewhat unclear, but the fact that his name keeps coming up in discussions about Diddy's parties is troubling. There's no direct evidence, yet, that Hart did anything illegal, but the rumors alone are enough to raise serious questions about his character and his choices. If it turns out that Hart was a regular at these parties, it could be devastating for his career. Hollywood may be known for its wild side, but there are limits to what the public will tolerate, and being associated with a scandal of this magnitude could be the downfall for someone like Hart, who has worked so hard to maintain a pristine reputation.
Right?
Nah, not really. I mean, but hey, it was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you seeing?
I went there to see the lifestyle.
And let's not forget about Usher. His involvement in Diddy's world has also been the subject of speculation for years. Usher has spoken in the past about how Diddy mentored him when he was just starting out in the music business, but there have always been rumors that their relationship was more complicated than it appeared. Usher's time with Diddy as a teenager has been a topic of much debate, with some alleging that Diddy exposed Usher to a lifestyle that was far too mature for someone his age. And now, with these new rumors about the parties and the leaked video, Usher's name is once again being dragged into the spotlight. In fact, a video of Usher speaking about his time living with Diddy as a teenager recently resurfaced, adding even more fuel to the fire. In the clip, Usher discusses how he was sent to live with Diddy when he was a minor and how Diddy introduced him to the ins and outs of the music industry. But what's most shocking about the video is the way Usher describes some of the things he saw during that time. While he doesn't go into too much detail, it's clear that Usher was exposed to a side of Diddy's life that most people never see. And now, with these new allegations swirling around, people are starting to wonder just how much Usher really knows about what went on at those infamous parties.
I didn't say that.
Okay.
I didn't say that. What I did say is that there were very curious things taking place, and I didn't necessarily understand it.
Usher isn't the only celebrity whose name has been linked to Diddy's controversial gatherings. Over the years, several other high-profile figures have been rumored to have attended these parties, including Justin Bieber, who was also mentored by both Usher and Diddy during the early days of his career. There's even a no-viral video of Bieber and Diddy together, where Diddy makes some pretty uncomfortable comments about how he had legal guardianship of Usher and would be spending the next 48 hours with Bieber. The video has raised a lot of eyebrows, with many people questioning what exactly Diddy meant by those comments and what kind of influence he had over these young stars. As more and more people come forward with their stories, it's becoming clear that Diddy's parties were not just harmless fun. There are allegations that underage attendees were present and that some guests were coerced into participating in activities they didn't want to be a part of. And while these are still just allegations at this point, the fact that the FBI is investigating suggests that there may be some truth to the rumors. If that's the case, then the fallout from this scandal could be monumental, affecting not just Diddy, but everyone who was involved, including Kevin Hart.
It was just an escape for me. I was just young, like everybody in the industry and people in the world who experiment and do.
For now, Hart remains silent, hoping that the storm will pass without doing too much damage to his career. But with each passing day, it seems like the situation is only getting worse. The rumors are spreading like wildfire, and the public is demanding answers. Hart's fans, who have supported him through thick and thin, are starting to ask questions. Why hasn't he addressed the allegations? Why is he staying so quiet when his name is being dragged through the mud? Silence, in this case, could be seen as an admission of guilt, and that's the last thing Hart needs right now. Diddy, on the other hand, seems to be preparing for a long legal battle. His lawyers have been working overtime to discredit the accusations against him, but with so many people coming forward, it's going to be difficult to fight off all the charges. And if the FBI really does have evidence in the form of hidden camera footage, then Diddy's chances of walking away from this unscathed are slim to none.
So difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life. Sometimes you got to do that. I was up.
In the end, this scandal could mark the end of Diddy's reign as one of the most powerful figures in entertainment. His reputation has already taken a massive hit, and even if he manages to avoid jail time, it's unlikely that his career will ever recover. As for Kevin Hart, his future is still uncertain. If he can distance himself from Diddy and prove that he wasn't involved in anything illegal, he might be able to salvage his career. But if the video exists, and if it shows what people say it shows, then Hart could be in for the fight of his life. The next few months will be crucial for both Hart and Diddy, as more details about the investigation come to light. Will Hart finally speak out and clear his name, or will he continue to stay silent, hoping that the scandal will fade away on its own? And what about Diddy? Will he finally be held accountable for his actions, or will he find a way to escape justice once again? Let us know in the comments below.